Hello. This is the first of my Horizons Tour dispatches. We're about to finally start the Horizons Tour, which by this point we should have gone across the UK and into Ireland and done Australia and New Zealand, but we haven't. So we start in Washington, DC on Friday this week, and I just thought I'm going to kind of put up things every now and again about what we're doing, because it's a very, very strange thing going back into a world tour, really. I've been in the same place for 2 years pretty much. I mean, mainly in this attic. I've spent a lot of time in my attic as the gender reversal Jane Eyre figure that I am, the madman in the attic, and then sometimes I've spent quite a lot of time in at my dad's as well, where the bedroom I sleep in is the room that I was born in. So I've kind of been surrounded by the familiar for over 2 years. That's and so it's quite strange, even though in 2019 I travelled the world doing that particular tour. Suddenly it just feels just very, very odd, because I think in the last few weeks, really, my senses have become very, very sharp to, I suppose, the quietness of the world that I've been in. You know, listening just to the kind of the bird song, some of the clatter of trains, the movement of the sky, and suddenly I'm realising that the familiar soundtrack that I've had will be changed for a different city every single day, and we'll be going from city to city, and it will be filled with frantic people and noise, and it does feel sometimes like an extreme sport. It's like, for some of us who don't do extreme sports, like the reason that I don't, for instance, dive into canyons tied to a rubber rope. Actually, there's a lot of reasons, but just generally that, or even things like swimming with sharks and stuff like that, is just because I quite often find going out the front door has its own level of extreme sport element to it, just really due to all of the little yakking voices in my skull. So it's going to be very interesting, and at times I feel like, having been away from doing this for over 2 years, I almost feel like one of those people that is back in the beginning of the 19th century, about to go on the first form of fast automated transport, and wondering if my collision with the world will in fact be, it will atomise me. I will disintegrate as I collide with the world. So I'm just going to mention that a little bit, because I do know that I've talked to a lot of people who, haven't noticed it until suddenly going back into certain elements of the world, that is a new kind of different anxiety. Though mine is merely a reboot of previous anxieties. Also, something else that I will be doing while I'm on tour is I'm going to try and read a book from every single city that we go to. And I don't know if any of them are in those piles there. But this is my New York book. The first choice is Just Kids by Patti Smith, which many of you will have read already, but it's such a beautiful book about love and youthful hope and artistic imagination, and those lovely moments when Patti Smith and Robert Mapplethorpe, they couldn't individually go to the they couldn't individually both go into an art gallery. They only had enough money for one of them, so they'd save up, and then one of them would go into the art gallery and then come back out and say, right, this is what I saw in the Whitney, and this was wonderful. And in fact, it was, I think, Patti Smith's first trip to the Whitney, that when she came out, Robert Mapplethorpe had been waiting outside, and he said, one day we'll be able to go in together and we'll look at our own art that will be on the walls. And so it's very beautiful, because it's about exploring the universe of the other people that you find and that you love, and finding out the universe inside them. So that's one of them. Bellevue Square is my book for Toronto. Just got recommended to me, sounded interesting and spooky. And I've also started reading David Foster Wallace, which is my kind of general American book. I'm going to read that. And I'll probably also finally get round to reading properly Widow Basquiat, which I got halfway through and is absolutely fantastic, and then got distracted by something else. So that's some of them. Also, every single day I was going to start the day by reading one of these artist manifestos from around the world, the kind of international artist manifesto. So that's my plan. There'll be anxiety. There will be lots of shows. The first week, Washington, Philadelphia, then off to New York, and then we go Boston and New Haven and all manner of places. But I'll be popping up every now and again, probably more for me than for you, that I'm doing these things, just that kind of reaching out thing. Not as spooky as that, but anyway, I hope I might see you on some of you also at the Horizons Tour. See if you can work out what all these books are and whether you've got them all. There's a game, isn't there?